So, especially pleasing that you've got that one here today then.
Yeah, always pleasing to come away from home and get the 3 points. Brighton are a good side, good footballing side. I know they've lost the last few, but always dangerous. Good technical players, and obviously have troubled us at times over the last couple of years. So it was a real big game for us today, and I felt as though we delivered. Again, professional performance, 3 points on the road, and yeah, we're delighted with that.
Diaz is still learning the lingo, but he certainly knows what commitment is, isn't he, with that goal particularly?
Yeah, again, top class. Like we've said for weeks now, he's come in and done fantastically well. But yeah, with the ball, the quality he possesses. Without the ball, the work rate as well, and winning the ball back. So another big performance from him. And
he put his head in a dangerous zone, shall we say. Lucky to escape with a red card, the Brighton goalkeeper.
You know better than me. I don't know. I think he's obviously a little bit late, but Luis has done so well to get there first, and great ball from Joel. So an important goal for us at that time in the game. So yeah, another big performance from him, and another big performance from the team, really, to get the 3 points.
After that first goal went in, you seemed to take control. For the first 15 minutes, it's a little bit sort of helter-skelter either end. So you needed that penalty just to finish things off.
Yeah, you always want the second goal. When it's 1-0, you always want that second goal to try and kill the game off a little bit more. So thankfully we managed to do that. Had one or two more chances, half chances to score as well, especially on the counter-attack and breaking. So yeah, I think overall, we'll be very pleased with the overall performance, to be honest.
8 weeks ago the gap was 14 points, down to 3 now. So that's a proper title race, isn't it?
I mean, we speak about this every week, but for us, the same mantra: concentrating on ourselves, concentrate on the next game, and that's the most important. And I think it's worked really well for us. The focus has always been the next game, no matter what competition, and to give everything in that game. And like I said, there's no reason to change that now.
Fascinating to watch it unfold. They're demanding perfection of each other, Manchester City and Liverpool. You mentioned in your post-match reaction at full time, Michael, they've not been at their scintillating best of late, Liverpool, but will that really bother Jurgen Klopp right now?
No, not at all. I mean, if you look at the results, then, you know, they've won quite a few games on the spin in the Premier League now.
8 in all now.
Yeah, it's sensational. And when they need to win, it's a bit like you mentioned, is it 3 seasons ago in that title race?
Yeah.
They bring out the best in each other. We've said it for a long time. If Liverpool weren't, you know, on this planet, then City wouldn't be getting the numbers that they're getting, and vice versa. We've seen it with great players over the years. Messi, Ronaldo, you know, they drive each other to levels that you wouldn't expect. So it often takes another good team, another good player to be able to get to those levels that, as I say, they're almost unattainable without it.
Yeah. Were they pretty much in control of the game across the 90 minutes for you, Chris?
I always felt so, even though Brighton's possession was very good.
Yeah.
And Brighton missed that opportunity at 2-0 where Trossard gets the really good chance. But you always felt that Liverpool had that extra gear, particularly offensively and breaking it and getting into areas. And probably on chances they could have made it a little bit more, you know, comfortable for themselves. But I think it's the same as what Michael said, and it's like, you know, the Liverpool teams of the great. You know, their performance levels weren't always on top because they were always challenging in all competitions, and it's impossible to commit to that type of level every single game. But when you've got individuals, your Van Dijks, that can defend one-on-one, you know, when they can put the wide players in high positions, and you've got technically good players, then you can do that and you can pick their moments.
Let's have a look at the crucial moment of the second half. The penalty for Mo Salah. Yves Bissouma was the culprit, I suppose, for Brighton for the handball to Naby Keita's shot. If you're Graham Potter, would you have been a bit disappointed with the way he's gone about it here, Chris?
With Bissouma?
Yeah.
Yes, because it's quite obvious. You know, you're in the box, somebody's about to shoot, then you've got to put your arms in a position where, you know, you're not going to be in a position to give away a penalty. So, yes, I think he would. One, address the shot, but use your body and be mindful of, if your arms are in that position, there's every chance you're going to give that away.
There's that split-second decision, is there not, between self-preservation or giving away a penalty?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're only a few yards away from someone. You could get a ball blasted right in your face. Yeah. It's just a natural reaction. Anyone would do it. If I threw a ball at you now, you'd sort of lift your arms up. So you're going against. I mean, when people say it's not a natural position, well, it is actually natural because that's what it's a natural reaction.
Instinct. Yeah.
But it's making yourself bigger. It's a definite penalty. You saw by Bissouma's reaction, he didn't even argue it. None of the Brighton players argued it. It is in a position that it shouldn't be. And a simple decision, I think, for the referee.
Yeah, but as was pointed out in commentary, the actual shot was going well wide of the area.
It was going well wide, and there is also that balance. I mean, I can be a little bit critical of the modern-day defender when you're seeing so many address a ball with their arms behind their back. And I feel in that way, you can't get movement and leverage to be able to get to the ball and to be able to stop it. So it's trying to get that balance in between, but certainly if you've got a flailing arm, then the chances are you're going to give a penalty away.
Yeah. And it gave a chance to Mo Salah to notch up his 20th league goal of the season, the 4th time he's done it in Liverpool colours. He went more for power than precision, Michael.
Power right down the middle, yeah. He varies his penalties, to be fair. I've seen him go both corners, I've seen him go down the middle with power quite a few times. Soon after this, he obviously went off with a little knock, and we've looked back at some of the instances just leading up to that game, and it appears that he's actually injured taking that penalty, and he really struck it well. So hopefully that will mean that it's not too bad an injury. But anything that you go off.
This is 4 minutes earlier, by the way.
Yeah, and but soon after he started feeling that area, and then he obviously took the penalty. You can see him straight after that block challenge. He's feeling the area. He continues. He plays for another 4 or 5 minutes, and then, as you say, after the penalty, he's telling Jordan Henderson he's got a problem here. So he's actually smacked the ball with that foot into the back of the net. So it can't be too bad. And he's walked off. But enough for it to be a worry, because someone like Mo Salah doesn't go... When there's goals available, he doesn't go off without...
But that's the type of incident that, because of the momentum of the game, and I've got no doubts, the adrenaline of taking a penalty, he probably wouldn't have felt it. But that is the type of injury that come tomorrow. It's a lot sorer tomorrow. Hopefully not, and hopefully it's not an issue.
Yeah, but that's interesting that he opted for power, if he was carrying a bit of a niggle in that leg. But we spoke about it while watching that second half unfold, because it was not a particularly great game so far for him. For confidence value, is it always good as a striker or as an attacker to go for power just to get almost kick-start your form in the match itself?
I think it's more a case, Manish, of if you're not so confident, I'm certainly not saying Mo Salah is, but in my experience, when you're not so confident, when you're not banging goals left, right and centre, you tend to go more percentages. You go for power, you go smack it down the middle. When you're on top of your game, you don't even see court. You see, I can shave the post there. You're so on it. So I think going for power, whether it was an injury thing, whether it was maybe he wasn't feeling great at the time, whatever it was, but it certainly worked. As long as the net bulges, then it doesn't matter how you put it in.
No.
Out of the squad to face Liverpool at home later on Sunday after saying he was dissatisfied with his role at Stamford Bridge, according to reports in the British media. The 28-year-old, who signed for Chelsea from Inter Milan in the close season for a club record fee of £97.5 million, $131.91 million, told Sky Italy this week that he was unhappy with manager Thomas Tuchel's system, adding that he would like to return to Italy at some point in his career. Asked about the Belgian international's comments ahead of the Liverpool game, Tuchel said they were not helpful. "We don't like it, of course. It brings noise that we don't need, and it's not helpful. We can take the time to try and understand what is going on. If there is something to discuss, it's behind closed doors, for sure," the German told reporters. Lukaku has scored in his last 2 Premier League appearances against Aston Villa and Brighton and Hove Albion following his return to the side after testing positive for COVID-19. He has netted 7 times in 18 games across all competitions this season. Chelsea are second in the league standings with 42 points from 20 games, a point ahead of third-placed Liverpool, who have a game in hand.